got to bring you into the good news zone here for a little bit. Not one that's going to change your life per se, but it is one that's, hey, it's points on the board for the good guys, for decency and for fairness. Roger Stone, who I've told you before, I like Roger Stone. I think he's an amusing guy, and he's fun to talk to, and he's quite a character. He has had his sentence commuted by the President of the United States. So we now know that Roger Stone is not going to go to federal prison for 3 years for lying to the Mueller probe. Remember, the Mueller probe was an illegitimate partisan hack get Trump operation. So remember that. And it was. It truly was. It was a witch hunt. Weissman, who is just a Democrat hatchet man, was running the whole thing. Mueller was just a figurehead. He was, I'm Mueller, you know, his testimony on Capitol Hill. That really broke the whole thing down. We all realized, wow, this guy has no idea what the heck's going on. But Roger Stone is still a convicted felon, so he's punished for this. It's on his record. He's punished for lying. But, I mean, he lied about some minor stuff. And in one case, they really just refused to believe he was kidding when he was clearly kidding, okay? They said he was witness tampering. They hit him with 7 counts. I mean, the whole thing, it was so obvious. They sent the team to his home. They had CNN there. They had a SWAT team going in. I mean, the whole thing was just atrocious. And Roger, over the weekend, posted a video of him dancing in just sheer happiness. And I've got to say, Roger's got some moves. Producer Mark, did you see it? He's got some funky moves.
Better than Buck Sexton moves?
I mean, his moves rival Buck Sexton funky dance moves. They were pretty good. I was impressed. Not the guy's got some stuff. But yeah, look, all this means is that a guy who's, I think he's in his 70s or close to 70 now, not going to go to prison for 3 years, has a felony on his record. Never should have been put in the position to he shouldn't even have had to answer questions to the Mueller probe. The whole thing was absurd. It was wrong. There was no underlying criminality. It was all based on the lie of the dossier. The whole thing is just a nightmare, grotesque, sore loser Democrat partisan crap fest. The whole thing was awful. And Roger Stone got caught up in it like so many other people. And, you know, should he have been a little bit more clear or a little bit more precise in his answers? I would have liked him to. But the guy's not going to prison. And it's the fact that they originally, I think they wanted to send him to prison for, 7 years? And the DOJ, remember, the DOJ had to step in and be like, guys, come on. You're sending him to prison for 7 years? This is insane. Then they want to send him for 3 years. What? But now he's not going to prison at all. You have the judge in this case, this was from the Hill today, seeking a copy of the order commuting Stone's sentence. I'm sure, you know, any opportunity that they can take here, any opportunity that they have to just find some way to take this moment of happiness away. Judge Amy Berman Jackson, she's a big Democrat, said in an order that she is seeking the document in response to questions from the U.S. Probation Office. Berman Jackson, an Obama appointee, what a shock, said she needs to determine whether the commutation involves the sentence of incarceration alone or also the period of supervised release. So she's trying to see if at least they can tag a supervised release onto this guy. Yeah, get him, because he's a danger to the public. Appalling. But you know what's great? Just bathing in liberal tears, all the shrieks over the weekend. Oh my gosh, this is so terrible. Here's Nancy Pelosi. Play 5.
It's staggering corruption, but I think it's important for people also to know that it's a threat to our national security. The whole impeachment process was about our national security. Why we are at the Supreme Court on these cases was to find out about the Russian connection, and we will continue to pursue that. This case was about the Russian connection. So what the president did, we will have legislation that says a president cannot commute or pardon or offer clemency to anybody who commits a crime, is convicted of a crime that affects the president's behavior and his culpability. But again, people should know this isn't just about lying to Congress. That means lying to the American people, witness tampering and the rest. And it's about our national security.
Producer Mark, that Nancy clip was too long. Okay, you can't do that to our audience, man. They're gonna code red you on that one. We heard enough.
Speak less.
We heard enough of crazy Nancy there in about 15 seconds. You gave her like 30, 40 seconds of Nancying. I'm just looking out for our team, okay? I'm looking out for our folks. That much Nancy, and they might just throw their smartphone or rip their speaker out of the dashboard and toss it on the freeway or something. I'm just trying to say it. Just giving you a little friendly heads up on that. That was too much Nancy. I know you're actually
blame me. It's okay.
I'm just I'm just angry because I had to listen to Nancy for so long. She's horrible. It's horrible. It's about our national security? Oh, my gosh. Roger Stone going to prison for threatening some guy's dog or whatever in a joke on Twitter DM is about our national security? Could she be more of a joke? The problem is she's not funny, so it's not even a good joke. Oh, my gosh, it's just madness, isn't it? It truly is. Wait, let's hear from Adam Schiff too. If you really want to feel like you've got to you're going to have to clean your ears out after this. Like if you can shower the inside of your ears between Nancy and Schiff, it's probably a good idea. Play clip 8.
The president had been telegraphing it for quite some time, but I think my reaction was much the same as many Americans, which is shocked on the one hand, not surprised on the other. It is a shockingly corrupt abuse of the president to commute the sentence of someone who not only lied to Congress, not only obstructed the investigation, not only intimidated witnesses, but did so to cover up for the president.
They won't let it go. This Russia thing, it doesn't matter how many investigations have happened. They are locked into this. We're going to have to hear about Russia for the rest of our lives. There is no escape from the Russia collusion delusion if you are going to listen to Democrats, at least until after the election happens. So there you go.
Republicans are the party of freedom. Democrats are the party of socialism and worse. That's what's happened. The Democrat Party is a whole different deal. They tear down the monuments and they think it's good.
They are the party of socialism, and you're about to see just how the COVID-19 response turns into socialism very quickly. Oh, my friends, I've been warning about this. I've been telling you that this was going to happen. And now you're beginning to see this program. If you look at the Biden policy documents, if you look at the way the media is framing the issue of the massive budget shortfalls that are out there, right? We're all in this together. Well, you're about to all be in it together in whatever state you're in if they do what they're planning to do, which is enormous tax increases. Oh, yes. Get ready for that. Get ready for that. Wear a mask and pay all your money in taxes, Biden's going to say. That's the way to a better future. This is Fox News today. State and local governments scrambling to raise money during the economic crisis caused by the coronavirus pandemic are looking to increase property taxes as well as wealth and taxes to fill budget holes. The proposal, wealth taxes rather, to fill budget holes. The proposals come as officials are trying to strike a balance, yada, yada, yada. Wealth tax, baby. Get ready for it. It'll be used against people who aren't super wealthy, but it'll be used against individuals who are at that point where they have enough assets to take a chunk of, but not so many assets that, they're donating to Democrats and so they're going to be covered, right? Bezos is not going to be the guy that's hit hard by the wealth tax. The small business owner who has bought a couple of properties and accrued, $500,000, $1 million in assets or something. That's who they're going to go for. They'll call the wealth tax. They'll say is about people that make 1% of over 10 million of liquid assets or whatever it is. But the real wealth tax will be if you've paid off your home and you've put decades into that, and all of a sudden your property taxes might go up 30, 40, 50%. I'm seeing Nashville could raise, is going to raise property taxes. This is Nashville, Tennessee. Tennessee's a red state, but Nashville's a blue city. 34% tax increase. Producer Mark, guess where the Freedom Hut is not moving anymore?
Nashville?
Yeah. 34% property tax increase? Think about that. Already, property taxes mean that you rent your home from the government. Property taxes mean that you never really own your home. You are just living there as long as you give the rent check to the ultimate landlord, Uncle Sam. And they're jacking the rent up on you now. This is going to happen in so many places. And the blue states that have refused to even try to reopen economies and get things going on a timely fashion, they are going to be the ones that are turning around to the federal government saying, you know, give us money, give us money, give us money. And people are going to flee these states even more. Even more. You know, I keep getting caught between wanting to be like the last guy in the trench before the Germans overrun us in New York City. You know, the last conservative in the trench before it all just, or like, why don't Mark and I and the Freedom Hut team here, why don't we just go to sunny Florida? We keep talking about it. Now it's looking like Florida. Governor Abbott has really annoyed me here. So Florida, I think, is overwhelmingly in the top spot. But this is how you see the redistribution of wealth mechanism is what comes as soon as the Democrats have the power. There's going to be massive wealth transfers, and COVID is going to be the excuse for all of it. Right? You're going to have, and no one's even really figured this stuff out yet. You've had so many individuals, particularly in cities, that aren't paying rent. You've had restaurants that aren't paying their rent to landlords. Well, those landlords have loans, mortgages that they have to pay off for those properties usually, and they can't pay those now. And now the banks then, you know, what ends up happening? They're going to be moving around. Our economy is going to feel like a game of 3-card money. I mean, our economy is going to be just Democrats pushing money here, moving money there. You're not going to see, you're not going to know. This is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. Instead of trying to just let people get back to work and get back to life, the Democrats are going to want the government to be writing a check, which just means the taxpayers writing a check, which means those of you listening to this who pay taxes, your taxes are going to go up dramatically if Democrats win. And I'm going to tell you the truth. They might even be going up if Republicans win. Right? So let's be honest about this. What is the Republican Party? I'm just going to say it. What enduring legacy has the Republican Party's control from 2016 until present left? My friends, a tax cut is always temporary. Tax cuts you got while you're in power. Now, it doesn't mean it's not a good thing, but I mean, come on. The judges, okay, but look at Gorsuch. Judges are not some perfect panacea against overreach and against tyranny. So what are we really looking at here? What have we really got? What is the big policy victory that we have that will endure? Obamacare still exists, friends. Right? Amnesty is probably right around the corner. Look at what the Democrats, now it was 8 years, to be fair, with the Obama administration, and their accomplishments, I think, destroy the country or are in the process of destroying the country. But look at what the Republican Party, and this is not just a Trump thing, the Republican Party, including the Congress, has delivered. Deregulation? Deregulation's great. What do you think happens when Democrats are in charge? Re-regulation. Where's the big sweeping policy victory? Where are the fights in the culture wars? Where's the change in the law that affects the mega platforms of Silicon Valley that effectively dictate what speech is allowed and what's not? Where are the enduring conservative cultural institutions and businesses that will withstand boycotts and the silencing campaigns? I mean, we have a lot of work to do. You know, the Trump movement, if Trump does not win, we will have had effectively this fall a 4-year reprieve from socialism and government overreach and the destruction of free enterprise, individualism, and sovereignty, national sovereignty for America too. But it'll only be that, a 4-year reprieve. It's not It's not enduring. There's nothing that stays once the Democrats take over. And really nothing long-term has changed other than you say, oh, Judges Buck, yeah, you could have an Alito retirement, a Justice Thomas retirement, right? And guess what? Now you got a bunch of Democrats that are going to pack the court, and you can't trust Gorsuch or Roberts. So what is the enduring? I'm not here to be a bummer. We'll have more fun stuff on the show tomorrow. I'm just telling you, let's understand what we've done and what hasn't been done here. Look, I'll take 3 good years and then a fourth crappy year over 4 years of Democrat insanity and, the dissolution of security in cities and an anemic economy and all that stuff. But let's be honest about where we are right now. I mean, if they, I'm just going to say this, and we'll return to this more this week. If they get amnesty through, Republican Party's done forever. There will be nothing known as the Republican Party worthy of the name going forward. That is they know this. That is the top of the Democrat agenda if they get unified Congress and Biden in the White House. That's going to be number one, because then they get everything else after that. This is not an exaggeration. We know what the plan is here. Switching gears for a second, producer Mark, do we know? I see now the Redskins, the football team, are dropping the name Redskins officially. And I feel like every time I say it, we're going to have to start bleeping it now, right? Because now it's, not woke enough. Do we know what the new team name is going to be?
I've seen a lot of rumors out there. Warriors was thrown out, but there's no official name yet.
Warriors would actually be a good name. Until people realize that Warriors...
There's also an NBA team that already is the Warriors. So.
Oh, yeah, Golden State Warriors, yeah. What do you think? What is producer Mark's choice?
I mean, they haven't been relevant for 20 years, so it doesn't really matter to me.
Wow, it's like that, huh?
I'm a Giants fan.
I like your team loyalty. Like, I can't even get you, you're like, nah, not saying a nice thing about them. No, sir. Fair enough. Although I do think the Giants eventually will come under assault for making people who are vertically challenged feel not included enough.
Yes, as a fat guy, I'm very offended by the Giants name.
It's just a matter of time before the Giants name goes. So we'll have to see. But yeah, I knew Redskins was not going to last. I knew that was not going to last. There was no way with the trend in this country that they were going to continue with that. I mean, Amazon pulled their merchandise. You see that? Amazon just said, we're not selling your merchandise anymore.
Yeah, a lot of places have done that aren't NFL shop. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Not surprised by any of that. Well, producer Mark, as always, if you have any additional thoughts on what you think the naming should be, you let us know, because you are our unofficial sports correspondent, because I'm going to know even less about sports going forward once they start putting social justice slogans on their jerseys. Then I'm really going to be out.
All right. I'll always be the sports correspondent for you. Don't worry, Buck.
I appreciate that. All right. We got to get to roll call.
It's time for roll call.
Roll call time, everybody. Thank you so much, as always, for being here with us. Appreciate it. Great to have you. Great to have you as part of the action here. Producer Mark, how was your weekend? Tell us about some things.
I mean, I don't really do anything other than watch TV now, Buck.
Yeah, but what did you see? What was good?
So my wife is obsessed with MasterChef lately, so that's literally all we watch.
What is MasterChef?
You've never seen MasterChef? It's a show on Fox with Gordon Ramsay and 2 other judges, where home cooks go in. You might actually be a good contestant. Cooks go in and compete to be the next MasterChef. Oh.
Snow Princess would be way better than me, but
Probably.
I'd be okay. Nah, because I have to do things a few times before I'm like it's camera ready, and I'm not good at like here is a pickle, a kumquat, and a roast chicken. Like make something, right? I mean that's not really my.
Basically, that's what they do. Yes.
Yeah, I can't do that. I don't have that skill set, but working on it.
It's fun to watch. I could never do it, but it's fun to watch.
I saw Midway over the weekend, which I will say, because that's such an important battle, and they do a pretty, the history in it is reasonably accurate from what I can remember. I like that, and I think they do a decent job with the battle sequences, but the acting and the writing is terrible. But I still liked it. I still enjoyed watching it, even though I will tell you, it compared to Pearl Harbor, the movie, Midway is like Oscar worthy. So Pearl Harbor is one of, I don't know. I absolutely hated that movie. I thought it was so bad. This movie has the Pearl Harbor, Midway has the Pearl Harbor attack in it, but it takes you to Midway and takes you through the Doolittle raid. So it's just a much more satisfying, history experience. In Pearl Harbor, it's like all of this terrible things happen. We get all blown up, and then it's like, yeah, but the Doolittle raid, which was amazing for what it was, but I mean, no. Midway
The first
is
thing you've liked in months.
yeah. See, they're out there. I also watched a YouTube special. Now, content warning on this one. There's a lot of foul language. It's not for kids, and it's graphic. It's a graphic comedy special. But I did a Red Eye show on Fox News a long time ago with a guy named Sam Morrill, and he's got a YouTube special. I got this, and I gotta say, I watched it, and it is. Do not watch it with kids, and some of you it will probably be a little offensive. There are some offensive bits, but remember, comedy, we're supposed to say, all right, you're being a comedian. There's some offensive stuff. It is very fun. Producer Mark, you would like it.
I would watch that.
Yeah, Sam Morrill, I got this
It's only like 10 minutes.
on YouTube. I texted him just to tell him, because I've met him before. I know him a little bit from doing Red Eye with him. I was like, just so you know, man, I thought your special was really funny. Those of you, if potty humor, and not even potty humor, if edgy sexual humor with a lot of curses and stuff is bothersome to you, do not watch it, okay? Because we have, we got a nationwide audience. We got hundreds of thousands of people listening to this show. So, I try to tailor the advice here. If you want something, family friendly, this is the opposite of that. But if you're somebody that can watch, late night stand up on Comedy Central and like some of it, or any of the HBO comedy specials back in the day, I think you'll, if you like the Dave Chappelle stuff, for example, I think you'll like the Sam Morrill stuff. I'll say that. In terms of your, I just don't want someone to be like, Buck, I'd watch the special and all of the language and good heavens. I know, this is not for you. But for those of you that are a little more into the edgy stuff, I thought it was very good. Midway is What's up?
For everyone else, you should watch The Floor is Lava. That's something else I've been watching.
What's that?
So it's a show on Netflix where you have to start at one end of the room, and the floor is lava, so you cannot touch the floor to get across the room.
Is this good?
It's the dumbest show you've ever seen, but it's so interesting.
That sounds kind of unusual.
Exactly. Like the floor is not actually lava, but like it's orange looking, and it spurts up at you, and if you fall in, any part of your body touches it, you're done. You have to. The floor is lava. You're dead. I'm not actually dead, obviously.
Right. That would be a really different kind of show.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be intense. All right. So we got some recs for you. Midway, like I said, not a great movie, but watch. It's funny. The critics rating on it is like 30 or 40%, and the audience rating is over 90%. So it's one of those movies. Like, critics hate it, but the audience is like, I don't care. Midway, we kick butt.
Sure.
Yeah. So anyway. That's what I got on that. All right, roll call. Sorry, I got a little delayed. Dan, remember, please do check out our Buck Brief, which is a video we're putting up on Facebook now, Monday through Friday, which is if you want to have this whole show effectively in 4 minutes, or the closest thing we can do to it, check out the Buck Brief. Share it onto your Facebook page. That really helps us out a lot. And also go to bucksexton.com. We're posting stories there. I'm going to write an editorial for this week there. So, yeah, thank you so much. Please go hang out with us there. Let's get to it. And remember to follow us on Facebook. If you're listening to this and you're on Facebook and you haven't followed the Buck Sexton page, I'm very sad to hear this. Go to facebook.com/BuckSexton. All right. And please follow it. Dan, also that way when people write in the comments, you can speak to other people from the Freedom Hut, right? You can all chat with each other there. It's great. Dan, since 2016, I've lost friends, one girlfriend, and almost gotten into a bar fight because I was loyal to President Trump. But as COVID stretches interminably and Governor Murphy mandates outdoor face masks in my home state of New Jersey, I ask, where is President Trump and the entire GOP when we need them? Where is the DOJ? Where is AG Barr? Dan, I'm with you. I don't have a good answer for you on this. I'm very frustrated. So, Democrats can turn the tyranny on and off as their political needs dictate, right? You want to go to a loved one's funeral, tyranny on. Bunch of lunatics want to protest and say cops are racist murderers and break stuff, tyranny off. They're allowed to do it. It's bad. It's a really bad situation. And I don't know why I think the Department of Justice isn't suing and doing things that would help here because they don't want to be responsible for a change in these policies. They don't want to be responsible and then get blamed for COVID if there's a spike somewhere and so on and so forth. That's honestly what I think is going on. All right. John. Hey, Buck and producer Mark. I listen to you on Freedom 93.7. Woohoo! Out in Denver. Or download the podcast to listen to while I go outside for exercise without a mask in Denver, Colorado. I think this is the best show of all conservative media, including Rush, and have passed the buck to many of my friends and family. Well, John, that is really very kind, man, and we appreciate the support and the encouragement. It means a lot. I work in healthcare, specifically mental health, and I can tell you the cost of the lockdown has been enormous as it relates to suicide, addiction, and debilitating depression. I do not understand how the media can continue to give Governor Cuomo so much positive airtime given the disastrous consequences of his policies. So who is really playing politics with people's lives? Shields high. Yeah, John, one of the issues of mental health is that we don't really have any, when you're talking about a pandemic and the way it affects a respiratory disease like this, the way it affects people, hospitalizations and deaths, psychological mental health, while as critical a part of your well-being as the rest of healthcare, it's, you're not going to see the same numbers that get attention. You're not going to see, people aren't going to, they're not going to die from depression. They'll die from a drug overdose caused by the depression, right? They're not going to commit suicide necessarily. Well, they commit suicide because of the depression, but it doesn't go down as a depression death. It goes down as a suicide. That's one of the ways that I think it's very hard for people to really grasp the full gravity and severity of the mental health effects from all of this. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I see. Let's see what we have next. We have Jesse. Sir, I'm a huge fan of your podcast and have only been listening for the last 3 years. Sorry I didn't find you sooner, Jesse. It's okay, man. All's forgiven. Welcome to the hut. Great to have you. I'm a resident in New Jersey who detests our governor as well as the entirety of the lockdowns. I'm a truck driver and I've been working throughout this pandemic, and while I understand there's a valid threat, our response was overzealous at the very least. I'm against this second round of stimulus checks, and not because I do not believe they're needed for some, but more so because I'd like someone to show me how we're going to dig ourselves out of this catastrophic hole we've managed to create with our national debt. Congress took off for months, except for social media, without so much as a pay cut. Where's the equality in that? Shields high. Jesse, an incredibly eloquent, compelling, and astute email to us or message to us. Thank you very much for sending it in. You're absolutely correct. We have been overzealous in the response in some ways and at the wrong time. And I do think we've created real issues for ourselves here. I think that we're not really grasping the economic consequences of the decision making right now because we're so focused just on getting ourselves past this. And there's a large portion of the country that doesn't want to get past it until November. That's just the truth. That's just reality. They don't want to get past it until Joe Biden can become president. So we have to continue to fight through this. But I think you're absolutely correct, Jesse. So I co-sign. Tatiana, hey, Buck, just wanted to share with you that I had a good chuckle over your mimicking Dr. Fauci, Biden, and Sanders while listening to your podcast tonight. You're so good at it. With all that's currently going on, we need to loosen up a bit and have some fun. It's like having a main dish and a dessert. You are very talented. Thank you. Tatiana, that's very kind of you. I try to do that. It's funny. I always get messages from some people who are like, don't interrupt your analysis. The important, incisive analysis is why I come here. with the jokes and with the voices. And then I have other people who are like, more voices, more jokes. We love it. You do plenty of the serious stuff. Have some fun. Come out to the coast, have a few laughs. So I'm always trying to balance this out. And some of it's a little bit mood-based. For whatever reason, like last night, I just didn't sleep well. I think the anxiety of the whole nation sometimes infuses itself into my brain a little bit when I feel like things aren't going well for America. I really mean that. I mean, just the sense out there right now is negative, and today I might have been a little more salty than I normally would, or than I tend to be. But tomorrow, hopefully, I'll have a good night's sleep, and I'll come back and be all fired up and do some more. Dr. Fauci's one of my favorites now. I really want to do a whole sketch where it's like Fauci with Biden talking about the things and the where do we go, what do we do. And then Joe Biden's like, he's just going to yell and just be confused. It's not really going to, hey, man, sometimes I want to sound like a boomer who's trying to talk to the young people. And I'm just, yeah, man, I'm hip. I'm a hip cat. My name's Biden. And then you get Bernie Sanders, who has not forgotten that he's trying to bring the country to socialism, because what could be better than only having one kind of tuna fish sandwich available? I don't want all these different kinds of tuna. It's crazy. So many choices in the market. Yep, I agree with that, Bernie. There are too many kinds of tuna. There we go. Producer Mark, where are you on tuna fish? I really don't eat it very much anymore. I used to eat it so much as a kid.
Smell even grosses me out.
Wow, you're one of those. Okay.
Yeah. It probably has mayo in it, right?
You mean the most amazing condiment that exists? Yes.
Oh, the worst condiment there is? Probably why I don't
We're gonna convert. We're gonna convert. Do you not even like spicy mayo on your sushi?
No such thing.
Look at this savage that I entrust our radio show and our community to here with his no spicy mayo.
It's not as bad as not liking ketchup, and I know people who don't like ketchup.
That I don't I don't even know how that's possible. Misty, don't presidents have to take a cognitive test before being sworn in? If so, there's no way Biden can be sworn in. We'd have to be of sound mind and body to enter into a contract. So should the guy who has control of the nuclear button. The nuclear football is going to be in Biden's hands, but don't worry, because he's gonna run a shotgun with that football, and he's gonna hit the wide receiver, but not going to get icing because he's not going to be offsides with the football that's nuclear. Get ready for it. Democrats will excuse any level of absurdity, stupidity, insanity from Joe Biden. Get ready for it. It's going to happen.
Just out of curiosity, you do know offsides is also a football term, and you threw in one hockey term.
Yeah, no, that was on purpose.
Okay. Because just with your sports knowledge, sometimes I wonder.
No, I figured you were going to call me out on that one,
Yeah.
but actually that was with the bit. But thank you, though.
I thought
just
you were
in case.
trying to say non-football terms and then accidentally used a football term.
Well, it's football, but it's also soccer, my friend. So there are other places where offsides exists.
That's true, exactly.
Yes, indeed. Indeed. Okay, no, I look. I strayed into your lane for a second, and producer, I strayed into the penalty box, and producer Mark wants to make sure that we know what's up. I get it. Well played. Yeah, no, that one I did know. I was watching some classic tennis last night. I think I'm just going to be one of these guys who watches old sporting events now.
You said you were watching tennis, though.
Yeah. Oh, not a
That's
sport?
not an old sporting event.
What do you mean?
It's tennis.
I actually played some tennis over the weekend. Other than the fact that it felt like I was, the blob flopping around the court out there. Other than that, it felt, my strokes were good. I can run for about 5 minutes before I'm like, oh, Papa Buck needs a break.
You were getting across the court very quickly.
It's not moving across the
You're
court.
going to have to start playing doubles.
Oh, we were. Oh no, we were playing doubles. Oh no, it was doubles. Don't worry about that. It's like, oh, excuse me. I'm telling my brother, my mom, I need to slow down here. I don't know, I'm going to get back into shape. I actually got my kettlebells delivered to the house, so I'm not going to have any excuse because I have some outdoor space in my building that I can go to, and with kettlebells and some sunshine, I'm gonna drop about 10 to 15 pounds in the next 90 days. It's going to happen. 90 days. I'd say 60, but that's aggressive. It's going to be 90, but I'll get back, and because I've gained 15 over COVID 15, but I'll get back down to healthy weight. So there we go.
What
Producer
happens when
Mark,
it gets cold out again?
Oh, and then I'm going to start just eating gluten-free cheese pizzas every night. And, you know, the cycle, it's the circle of life. It's the circle of life. Cycle continues. All right, everybody. Hope you've enjoyed the show today. Like I said, please go to bucksexton.com. Please watch our Buck Brief on Facebook. Make sure you follow our Facebook page. And we'll be back tomorrow, and I'll be in a fantastic mood, I assure you. Shields high.